Hello, it's Wills and Mark. It's Wills here from Dempsey Youth Service. Hope you're all keeping well, keeping safe. I'm going to start the session, as I do every session, with a quick house rule. So we operate this platform in the same way as we'd operate any of our usual services, whether there be a youth club or a school group or community group, whatever it is. It's all about respect. We're about respecting each other, respecting the platform, respecting each other's comments, and staying safe as well. That's the most important thing. Since that we've now switched to a digital platform, a digital medium, it's about staying safe and safeguarding yourselves and safeguarding us as well. So please don't tell us too much personal information about yourselves, like your address, date of birth, where you live, who your mum's is, what your cat's name is, what your gerbil's called. None of that stuff. We don't want to know any of that stuff. And if you want to mention anybody else on the session, please have that same level of respect for their privacy as well. So please don't give too many identifiable bits of information. O a Cymraeg hefyd, so mae'r sesiynau gyd yn ddwyieithog, mae'n groeso i chi gyrru negeswyr yn y Gymraeg neu yn Saesneg. Mi wna i gyfieithu nhw a gyrru nhw'n dol allan so pawb wedi cymryd rhan. So yeah, the session is bilingual. Please do send us your messages in either Welsh or English. I will translate them and send them back out. Oh, and also keep sharing this platform and all of our other stuff. So at DCC Youth Service, we've got Twitter and Facebook and this. So if there's any other young people that you have on your social medias or you're connecting with, or however you're staying in contact with people over this time, please do let them know that you're taking part. And if you think that's something that they'd like to do, share it on, get the message spread. We're building up a great community here, but it'd be lovely to get some more people involved as well. Right, I forgot to mention the most important thing. It's Tea Tuesday, so have you got your tea? I know the weather is absolutely boiling out there, but I'm a traditionalist, so I've still got my cup of tea. I know Gemma's in the house. I know Gemma will have her blackcurrant ready, won't you, Gemma? I know you will. Mikey, hi all. Charlotte says hi. Sarah says hi. Matthew says hi. And Morg says hi. Hello, Morg. How's it going, mate? It's been a while. Look, I don't care how hot it is. Tea Tuesdays, you've got to have a cup of tea. That's what I say. Right, so let me know how your day's been. Drop in the comment section below here. Let me know how your day's been, what you've been up to, what's going on. It's Tea Tuesday. I have a very special topic for you today. No, it's J2O today, Wills. Wills, I'm great, thank you. How are you? Brilliant, Smugs. I am spot on. Diolch am gofyn. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. I've got a special topic for us today. So, for those of you who are joining us new or watching post the live, quick explanation to what Panad Sgwrs is, or tea and a chat. So during my usual youth club sessions, which usually happen in the south of the county, Corwen and Llan, we have like a tea and a chat session. So like a bit of a decompression where we go off into the corner, get some beanbags or some sofas or chairs, whatever, make a nice cup of tea and a biscuit, and we talk about anything that comes up. Now, sometimes what we like to do during these sessions, these tea and chat sessions, is have discussions on issue-based stuff, so topical stuff that's going on right now. And I like to gain young people's perspectives and throw a few things out there and just get people to explore their thoughts and feelings on certain topics and issues, right? So with that in mind, I thought I would do a session for us today. Oh, look at my tea and chat logo. Hey, I got my little mug in there. Look at it. Oh, it's pinker on telly, isn't it? It's a light pink here, it's a dark pink there. Funny how that happens. Anyway, so I need you texting here. I need to text in, comment in here. This tea and chat session only works from finding out what your perspective is on something, not mine. I've got my own opinions. You don't want to know those. But I'm really, really keen to know and interested to know what your perspective is on certain topics. Now, if you have, hey, Elio, how's it going? If you have social media or access to a television or a newspaper or carrier pigeon or however you get your news delivered to you, you won't be able to escape what's going on currently in the media over these last few days, last week or so. Well, in reality, decades, but particularly in this last, Charlotte's in the house. Lovely logo, Wills. I know it's good, isn't it? Particularly what's been going on in the media over these last few days, and this issue of the reoccurring issue of racism. In particular, I want to look at today, I'll discuss with you the state of affairs and what we're seeing on social media, in particularly in America at the moment. So I'm dead keen to find out what your thoughts are on this. Nice logo. Oh yeah, cheers, Matthew. Oh, no, that one. No, that's not mine. Somebody else designed that. Black Lives Matter designed that. That was my one there. Look. Yeah, so racism, okay? So the state of what you are seeing on social media now and how that's having an effect on you. So the first question, I thought I'd guide the discussion. This has worked well for us in the past, and I think it'll work well for us today. The first question is, have you been affected by what you've seen in the media? That's the first question. So how have you been affected, and how have you been affected by the things that you've seen in the media? Try and be sensitive with the language that you're using here in the comments, guys. I don't need to tell you, or I'll reiterate it again. So try not to use any offensive language. That's a given. I guess we've said that at the beginning of the show. And try to be mindful of how your comment could affect other people as well. So really keen to find out if it's affected you and how it's affected you, but be very mindful that it could affect other people when you're typing it. Do you get my meaning? I'm sure you do. I'll point it out if it comes along. Matthew, not really. Okay, well, that's okay. Matthew, if you're saying not really, it hasn't affected you, what the things that you've seen in the media, that's cool. I'm not parking it. We're just going to put that there for now and see what other people have said. Morgan hasn't seen anything. Okay, Mox, I'll clarify a little bit of what I meant. So the situation in America at the moment, mass riots and protests going on over the death of a man called George Floyd. George Floyd, sorry. Excuse me. And this has sparked riots all across the country, and I believe 17 states now are under martial law. Martial law is something where the military takes hold of the running of the state. In a sense, there's been riots and lootings and shootings and all kinds of manner of nastiness. It's all over social media. The president's got involved as well, and he said some pretty daft things. And I'm just, because it's all over social media at the moment, people posting videos of police brutality and messages of Black Lives Matters and all those types of things. And I'm just keen to find out if anybody, have you seen it and has it affected you, the things that you've seen? Right, so let's see what we got. Mia15 said, the videos of the people being harmed for no reason has really upset her. Yeah, well, you know what? It's upset me, to be honest with you, as well. I found myself going into a bit of a spiral, looking at them all, and it's really, really sad when you see that level of hurt and pain happening unnecessarily as well, particularly when it's perpetrated in the sense by police officers who are there in your perception to protect you, right? It's really, really worrying stuff. No, I haven't. No, excuse me. You know what? This tea is not going down well today. Hold on. No, I haven't. However, it's flashbacks from history lesson. Oh, yeah. It's crazy how it repeats itself after a while. Well, it is, isn't it? It's like I said at the beginning of this. Gemma, it is a reoccurring issue, really, isn't it? So I think it comes in peaks and troughs, particularly in America. Race relations are really, really tense over there. And I think sometimes, although I'm not by any means diminishing what's happened to this poor man, but it takes a spark sometimes to ignite this fire, doesn't it? And it gets the public mood fired up again, and then it creates all this unpleasantness, doesn't it? What wrong does George Floyd do anyway? Well, whatever he did, Matthew, it would not have constituted being treated in the way he did. So the police officer in question, he performed an illegal maneuver to restrain him, which cut off the air circulation and ultimately caused his tragic death. So whatever he did, that should not have happened. That's the message there, isn't it? Hi, everyone, says Joe. Oh, Joe, oh, you've come into a deep and heavy topic really early on to the session. Sorry, I'm late. Don't worry about it, Joe. We're having a discussion about what's going on currently in America, particularly. In fact, I tell you what, we'll move on to the next question, and you'll see what I mean. So, next question is: does the situation in America, what I mean by that is the policing, the demonstration, and the riots, etc., have an effect on us here in the UK? Does it? Oh, mate, I've just heard the news, and 4 police officers have been shot today. Not dead, but they are Pleading for calm. They're pleading for calm. Well, you see, like, this is what we're talking about, Claire. The situation over there is extremely, extremely tense. We are getting fed all this stuff over in the UK and globally on social media. And I was asking what effect that's having on young people. And then now I'm moving on is, does the situation in America and the USA, so the riots, the shootings and all that kind of stuff, does that have an effect on us here in the UK? What do you think? It was too upsetting to see the policeman kneeling on his neck. I had to turn it off. Absolutely. No, I 100% agree with you there, Charlotte. No, I don't think so, says Morgan. So, Morgan, are you saying that you don't think that the situation in the US has an effect on us here in the UK? You clarify that for me, just so we know. Yes, I think so, says Joe. There is already protests in London. Well, I'll be getting onto that in a minute. Elio says, I think that US has a big effect on the UK. Well, yeah, it does. Well, Elio, explain. Although I kind of agree with your comment, but please do explain to us. So what effect do we think that is having on us over here in the UK then? Obviously, what we're seeing on social media is disturbing and upsetting, and that's going to have a natural effect on us. But on a global sense, what do we think? Yeah, I don't think it has an effect on us here in the UK. Oh, you don't think it has? Okay, hey, Mox, that's fine. So, what action could we take? So, what I'm talking about in what I'm talking about here in how it has an effect on us in the UK is that racism is a global issue. It may be ignited and sparked and protests are happening now in America, but the issue of racism is a global thing. And I think this has highlighted it on a global scale, and we're all global citizens. The thing about America, from my perspective, and I'm not preaching here, this is just an opinion. The thing about America, from my perspective, is they kind of influence Western culture across the world, and we are heavily influenced by that. And we've got strong links to America anyway. So particularly when it comes to social media, who are all controlled through America and what have you. And that was my question, really. So something that happens in America, it's not really happening in America, it's happening on social media, which is happening globally. So then it has an emotional effect on us, perhaps. That's what I was that's the road I was going on. I think the US, Gemma says, I think so, because we see the hashtags. Well, we'll get onto the hashtags in a minute. I agree with you. I think so because it enables, this is Elio now. I think so because it enables people to realize the privilege systems and how we can help worldwide. Well, exactly, we're global citizens, which took me on to my next point. Diolch yn fawr iawn, Elio, and diolch yn fawr iawn to Gemma for leading us on there. What action could we take to combat global racism? What can we do? So there's things happening now in different parts of the world, riots, shootings, or whatever. We have been affected by it emotionally and our well-being. We're getting upset by it, as you point out in your comment here. We're recognizing that we are part of it by seeing it, hashtags and what have you. But what can we do? What can we do? And I know that's a massive question. And by the way, I don't have the answers. Just so you know, this is a discussion. What action could we take? What do you think, guys? What could we do to combat global racism, do you think? Hashtags, is that a thing? What do you think? Gemma, petitions. Okay, what kind of petitions? What would be petitioning for? That's an interesting. Do you think petitions work? Do you have any experience of doing a petition and putting it out there and seeing the results of that petition? Do you think that would be the best course of action? Please do let us know. That's why we're here. Every little helps. Oh, this is Elio. Oh, we can always count on Elio. Every little helps. Eradicating it from the sources, or, for example, putting people up there if they use inappropriate language. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So do you think social media companies have got a part to play in this as well, about what's getting posted and what's getting shared? Should they share some of the responsibility of what's being drip-fed out to us? Or should it be freedom of speech? Should we be allowed to see all this stuff? Interesting perspective there, Leo. Talk about it, raise awareness. This is from Joe. The effects of racism can have on other people. Yeah, so what? Through educational systems. So what? In youth clubs, schools, that kind of vibe? On platforms like this, perhaps? Who knows? Hi, it's Mia here. Hi, Mia. I think we should treat others the way that we want to be treated. Then the world would be a better place. Yeah, love, not hate. Or you know what? You're an apple of John Lennon's eye. Absolutely. Make love, not war. I'm for that. by having this discussion is that we're all contributing to a community change. Yeah, I like that. Well done, Claire. That's a really interesting topic. Talking about what we're doing here in the UK, somebody mentioned about the protests in London earlier. I forget who it was it Leo, perhaps? What did you think of that? So a couple of days ago, those of you who are not aware, there was big protests held in London, Black Lives Matter protests. Do we think this is a good thing to do? Do we think that having big protests to all come together and show solidarity towards the cause here in the UK is a good thing to do now? What do we think? Petitions for fair justice system. Oh yeah, well, absolutely, that could work. Yeah, I understand what you mean now, Jem. Sorry, apologies for that. Yes, you could petition. That's what the governments and stuff are for, right? But what about this one then? Do we think this was a good idea? The protests in London. I think the protests show a community coming together. Yes, but should the community be coming together during a period of lockdown, coronavirus? Was this the best way to show support for our disgust in what's happening on the other side of the world at the moment? Was all coming together the best thing to do? Oh, hold on. I've lost my screen. I knew that was going to happen. Hold on. I'll be with you shortly. Talk among yourselves. There we go. Right. Let me see where I'm at. The problem is that this is one of my issues. Okay? Elaborate, Claire. I think it might have been a bit better if they all had said all lives matter. Okay. Oh, that's taken in a different direction. I like that, Joe. Yes, all lives matter. Of course, all lives matter. But I think the feeling in the air at the moment is the mistreatment specifically of that minority group in America. Now, I agree with you completely. All lives matter. And as a world community, as a global community, that should surely be the message that we're pushing forth. I totally agree with you. So I agree, Joe. Not just a racist issue. No, it's not. Oh, Elio, sorry, I missed your comment there. I understand the pandemic issue, but the fact that racism has been institutionalized is a bigger issue and that needs to be beaten. It does need to be beaten, but right, here's my thing, okay? Here's my thing. Although I totally, of my own opinion, agree that peaceful demonstrations is a good way forward to enact action. I agree with that. However, doesn't it seem a bit counterproductive to go out and march on the street about the protection of lives whilst putting your own life in danger during a pandemic? That's my point. That's what I was thinking. Because I get demonstration, peaceful demonstration. I'm for that. That's a personal view of mine. I think that's a really, really good way to enact action. But protesting for the protection of lives while putting your own life at risk, I find it a little bit, you know what I mean. I think the protest could have worked. However, in the US and the world needs to see that the other countries deal with this. They deal with racism in a different extent. I think that the protest could work. However, the US and the world needs to see that other countries deal with racism in a different extent. Yeah, deal with things in different ways. I hear what you're saying. I agree, it is counterproductive, says Ellie. Well, I'm just throwing it out there. So, well, okay, I tell you what. Hold on. It's difficult with the coronavirus pandemic. Oh, you're flying in with your comments today. Hey, I hope you're enjoying your brews as well. I need to lubricate my throat with all this reading. It's difficult with the coronavirus pandemic. A peaceful protest would have been better. Well, yeah, peaceful protest. So, but with social distancing in place, would that have been as effective? Would they have had that visual impact? I mean, these protests work with masses of people coming together, holding banners, marching together, don't they? If everybody was 2 meters apart, and how would that work? Hi, it's Mia here. Hi, Mia. Some are saying that there are two viruses, racism and COVID, killing at the moment. Oh, interesting. Is that something that you've seen on social media? Because that sounds like a meme or a post or something. It's an interesting perspective. I like that. So, well, talking about social media and as Mia pointed out there, COVID and what have you. What about this then? We're slightly moving ahead here now. Social media, does that equate to social justice? Can we have that same power to fight this global racism and make our stand and make our point, particularly during this time, through social media? Do they have a part to play in this? Like I think Gemma pointed out earlier, this hashtag Black Lives Matter, is that effective? Is people going out there and posting things on Facebook and building communities and sharing things on Facebook? Is that a way of protesting during these times? Is that effective? Does it work? What do you think about that? Interesting topic of conversation. Let me know your thoughts. Yeah, so social media, will that equate to social justice? Will that have an effect? Will it work? Will sharing a post on Facebook work to combat fighting racism? That's a good question for you. Oh, excuse me. Oh, my cup of tea is lovely today. Just at the right temperature for this sweltering hot day. Morgan, let's see what Morgan's got to say. People on social media have been posting black screens and putting blackout Tuesdays on, and everyone has been doing it. Even the celebrities. Well, Morgan, it's funny you should say that. It needs to be more about equality, says Claire. Oh, I like that. Morgan's point here about people doing the blackout, does that work, Morgs? Do you think that people blacking out their profile picture and blacking out their profile banner in solidarity to this cause, is that actually working? Is that having an effect? What do you think? What do you think about that? I'm really keen to know about this one, actually. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of that today as well. I've seen lots of bands do it. I've seen friends of mine on social media changing their profile pictures to a black image. People are talking about this hashtag Blackout Tuesday thing where everyone's going to try and show their solidarity by just changing their profile picture to a black screen. What do we think about that? No, it's not really working, I think, because it's not really helping people that really need it. Okay. Joe, I agree with Claire. Claire said it needs to be more about quality. Yeah. Joe, what do you think about this Blackout Tuesday thing, though? Do you think that... Oh, hi, Mia. How's it going? Oh, other Mia, I think. Hi, other Mia. Mia, we're talking about hashtag Blackout Tuesday. Do you think that people changing their profile picture to black is having any effect on the global issue of racism at the moment? What do you think? I think it's opening up a discussion for people to be educated. Oh, Ellie, so curveball. Oh, I like it. Absolutely, yeah, it is opening up a discussion. Yeah, well, we're having the discussion now, so we wouldn't have been having this discussion had I not seen all this stuff on social media. So, yeah. No, because black is just a colour. Yeah. So, Mia, I don't know if you've been with us at the beginning of this session, but we're talking about all the situation that's happening in America at the moment, or globally, the rising tension in racism and race relations in America, and how the UK and the rest of the world are trying to combat that and show solidarity. And in particular, we're now talking about how people are blacking out their Facebook profile pictures and Twitter profiles and what have you. So let's have a think about that. I think it works when celebrities do it more than personally, because more people will see it and understand that racism is a global problem, not just in the US. Funny you should say that. Oh, Gemma, you and me are on fire today. I'll get to that in a minute. It's not going to change the situation, says Mia. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, Mia, I've got Gemma here saying she thinks it works more when celebrities doing it, and you think that it has no effect. However, if you take in case in point someone like Katy Perry, who has 94 million followers, and she's done this today as well, that's 94 million people that have seen that message of we are standing together against racism. So, like Gemma's point, when celebrities do it, they reach a wider audience, don't they? Now, I understand what you're saying, that in effect seems slightly ineffective and doesn't really help the cause. But as Ellie pointed out a minute ago, it does help that conversation, start educating people and seeing how many people are standing together in solidarity. So, who knows, right? I've seen an analogy about all lives matters. Oh, yeah, okay. It's like saying, I've seen this one. I'll read it out because I like this one as well. I've seen an analogy about all lives matter. It's like saying one house is on fire, so you spray the whole street with water. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, okay. This one needs a bit of context and background. Thanks for throwing that one in the mix, Ellie. So, okay, so the movement at the moment of Black Lives Matter is because specifically that group, that minority group, is being unfairly treated by the police and the state in America, right? And people are saying, well, hold on a minute, Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. Well, what Ellie's point is there is that's like saying one house is on fire, so this minority group is really copying it, but there are other minority groups there, so let's spray the whole street with water. I totally understand what you're saying. Interesting to see what other people think about that. I think it might be a way to make people aware and maybe raise awareness, says Joe. Yeah, it could, absolutely. This blackout thing, you mean? Yeah. People are just sly and don't listen to what, this is Mia. People are just sly and don't listen to what people say, and they don't realize that they are being racist. And all this is when they do it. Yes, well, I agree with you there, Mia. And this is why youth workers do what they do, I guess. It's all about educating. It's all about getting people to have these conversations, see different perspectives. So we've had lots of discussion on here today with people saying, well, I don't think so. Well, I do think so. And it's sometimes about having these conversations that makes you see something from a different perspective. So I understand that you say that people are just sly. Or perhaps if people took part in more discussions like this, they'd think more critically about it and think, oh yeah, I never thought of it like that. Do you know what I mean? I understand what you mean, though. Sometimes people maybe are being unintentional. Not that I'm excusing that behaviour at all, but I think education and conversation is definitely the way forward to address those types of things. But good comments, diolch yn fawr iawn, Mia. Well, I think Ellie is the house on fire is equally as valuable as the rest of the street. What I think it says, Ellie. Oh, okay. Sorry, Claire. I missed your point there. What I think it says, Ellie, is the rest is that one house on fire is equally as valuable as the rest of the streets. Yeah, Claire, definitely. Yeah, we agree with you, Claire, and we agree with you, Ellie. Interesting. Right. Drink your tea now, guys. Can you believe this conversation? We've been running this for 27 minutes, and I had another conversation topic to discuss as well. Oh, okay, right. I might be throwing a curveball at you here. Okay, I might be throwing a curveball here. I have masses and masses of respect for the integrity and the power of young people and the amazing things that young people can do, not just individually, but collectively when they come together, right? I'm totally an advocate of that, or I wouldn't be a youth worker, right? However, from time to time, as we were talking about, I think it was Mia who brought it up, saying some people are sly, and we were talking about that issue of education needing to be the way. What do you guys think of this? Now, I've toyed back and forth whether I should show this or whether it feels like I'm promoting what's going on. I am in no way promoting what's going on. It's just something that popped up on my newsfeed literally seconds before I was due to come on. And I've screenshotted it. And I'm keen to get your perspective on this. So I'll just scoop along here. What do you guys think of this? So I won't keep it on the screen for too long. It's a young lad who's taken a post on TikTok or some kind of social media, and they're calling it the George Floyd Challenge. What do you guys think of that? Well, I take that away for now. What do you guys think of that? Now, obviously, I saw this on a youth workers' social media platform, and there was a hot debate going on at the time about the rights and wrongs and what should be done. But I thought, dead keen to find out what young people think of this. So what do you think when you see global situations like this develop and these kind of responses from young people? I think that's too far. Well, I would say that's a little bit too far. Claire thinks it's sick. I think so too. Claire, to be honest with you. But what can we do to combat stuff like that? Well, as youth workers, we know exactly what our position is to deal with stuff like that, right? But I'm dead keen to find out what you young people think of other young people who react in these types of ways when we have these types of situations, because it happens a lot, doesn't it? Oh yeah, people have been making videos and taking the neck out of it, and I'm absolutely disgusted. Yeah, well, yeah. So Morgan's saying he's seen videos and people making this kind of content. He's disgusted with it. So I am as well. Disgusting. This is me. It's disgusting as it's basically being horrible and making fun of the situation in America. Agreed. It's no laughing matter, says other Mia. It is no laughing matter. I agree with you. I agree with you. It's just something that popped up, and I just thought, interesting. What do you guys, as young people who are, accessing the world and accessing news, what do you think when you see other young people behaving this way? We all know it's wrong. We all know it's disgusting, and we all know what needs to happen. And from a youth work perspective, I would absolutely love to work with those two young people and find out why they did it, what they were thinking, educate them around the issues surrounding it. Love to do that. But anyway, we haven't got time for that because they live in America, I think. It's not something to joke about. I absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree with you. I wonder if the people making the videos would do it if one of their family had died. Well, exactly. And these are the types of conversations that you could have with them, isn't it? If you were with them, working with them. It's really, really sad. I was just keen. Sorry to throw that in on the end. Almost feels like a somber end, doesn't it? Right. We've done 30 minutes here. I had another topic to discuss. Now, if you want me to carry on for another 5 minutes, give me a thumbs up. If you're happy to go about the rest of your days and finish your brews, crack on. It's horrid. It's gone too far. Nothing to joke about. No, it really is. And do you know what, guys? Thank you very much for your participation and taking part in those sessions. That was really, really good discussion. I only wish we could all be in the room together, because it's difficult leading a discussion when it's comments like this. And I think conversation works best when we're all sat around. Hopefully not too long now. We can get things started again. Very old saying, says Joe. Treat as you want to be treated. Absolutely. So Jen wants to carry on. Morgs wants to carry on. Who else wants to carry on? If you want to carry on, we're going to be talking about the next news item of the week. Great saying, Joe, says Charlotte. Oh, yeah, it is a great saying. We should be advocating that. We should put it on the back of our T-shirts or something, or on the front, or somewhere. Mia's carrying on. Joe's carrying on. Right, I'll carry on then. We won't dwell on this for too long. Once again, thank you very, very much for sharing your thoughts and opinions on that. If you want to discuss that particular topic or any topic like that any further, and obviously now we are running out of time, please do get in contact with your youth work team in the usual ways at DCC Youth Service. Find us on Facebook, find us on Twitter, direct messages, you can phone us, WhatsApp us, email, whatever. If you want to carry on these types of conversations, then please do. But we'll park that conversation for now, as serious as it is, and thanks for your contribution. But we'll move on to the next one, which is, I'm staying, says Sarah, or Mia, or Ellie. Oh, brilliant. Okay, right, we'll have a quick one then. What do you think of this? Voting age lowered to 16 in Wales. Did you hear about this? I'll tell you about it now. So on Monday, the 1st of June, that was yesterday, 2020, a law was passed in Wales, meaning that 16 and 17-year-olds will be able to vote for the first time at the Senate elections in 2021. Did you find that? Did you hear that? Rather, should I say, did you find that? Have you heard that? So the voting age has been lowered in Wales, okay? It means that 16 and 17-year-olds will, for the first time, have influence in choosing the members who will represent them in the next Senate, giving them a voice over the decisions that will define their future, or your future, should I say. So what do you think about that? First of all, had anybody heard of it? I think that's the first question I'd like to ask. Had anybody actually heard this on the news, or was it just because I'm connected into youth worker circles and Welsh government e-circles? Has anybody heard of it? What do you think? Oh, see, yummy. My brew's going cold, to be fair. What do you think? Voting age has been lowered to 16. This is the next topic. What do you think of it? Had you heard about it? If you want to just type in no, then type in no. Crack on. While I wait in the winds of time. Oh, felt very preachy today. Oh, Elio says, I've not heard about that. Okay. Yes, says Claire. Yeah, what a super opportunity. Maybe the education sector will deliver the knowledge for 16 and 17-year-olds to be able to make informed decisions. Claire, stop running ahead of yourself. We're getting there next. It's too much pressure on people as they have to decide in minutes. No, says Morgan. Well, funny you should say that, Mia. That was going to be my next question. Are you ready to vote? Do you feel at 16 and 17 that you are ready to vote? So if you're below that age now, think about ahead. Do you think when you get to 16, 17, I know a few of you on here, it will directly affect you now. I know a couple of you definitely are going to be this. In fact, there's 4 of you I can see. This is going to affect you. This is you now. So in next elections in 2021, you will be allowed to go to the polling station. So are you ready to vote? Or, yeah, are you ready to vote? That was the question. 50-50 about that, to be honest, says Gemma. Never heard about it. Okay, good, because our future, however, the downside is depends if we are mature enough. Well, that was my question. I'd not heard about this, but it's a great idea. Politics affects everyone. Yes, it does affect everyone. But those who are now being given the vote, this is now, I think, they made the decision last year. They did a consultation and 59%, so it was a close margin, 59% of people voted in favour of it. So similar to what Jen was saying, the country was also pretty much 50-50 split on whether this should go ahead. But it has gone ahead. Now, what does that voting age, what do those people think? Do they think they're ready? I think if people make their own decisions and actually, this is Elio, I beg your pardon. I think if people actually make their own decisions and actually research into it, it's a good opportunity. However, there's always a however, if the parents really strongly believe one way, it's hard to see different sides. Well, exactly. Are young people more easily influenced when it comes to matters like this? Interesting topic. People might not choose properly. Oh, this is me now. People might not choose properly and might pick what their friends tell them to. That's a good point, isn't it? Joe's thinks, I think it's important that they can vote, right? Because it's about their future. But I think they need to provide them with more info to be able to make an educated decision. Interesting. Jem says, I'm probably not ready. Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm probably not ready. You've met me, Wells. I'm quite immature. That's a good point, actually. No, you're not. You're brilliant. You are. Love that you are mature enough to acknowledge it's a big deal, Gemma. Yeah, well, exactly. So you're mature enough to acknowledge that you're not mature enough, if you know what I mean. Sarah. Oh, no, it's not Sarah. It's Mia. I beg your pardon. I'm 15. Right, so this affects you, Mia. This is what I was saying. I pointed to you. Oh, really? This affects you. This is you next year. I'm 15, and I think I learn opinions from watching the news and speaking to my parents and what teachers say in school. I think that we have the right to be taught about politics. We're getting onto that next. Oh, you're a clever lot, you lot. You're a clever lot. They might pick the names they might pick on names or look of people. Right, yes. They might just choose it on what the look of someone rather than what they represent and what their policies are. I hear your point, Mia. That was going to be my next question. Mia, so thanks for pointing out. Do you feel like young people in Wales should be better educated on voting? Definitely agree with Mia, says Claire. Charlotte said, politics affects everything we do. It does affect everything we do. So with such a heavy responsibility now placed on 16 and 17-year-olds, the mood of the room seems to say, well, we're not quite sure. Some are saying, yeah, I think we're ready. Some are saying, no, we're not ready. Do we think we should be better educated? Do you feel that young people in Wales should be better educated on voting now that this law has been passed, which will enable you to vote? Yeah, I did government and politics level. The lack of empathy in such a big contributor to voting. Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Oh, don't tell us some more then. Oh, hold on. Oh, my screen's gone again. No, it's fine. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I did government and politics. A level, not A level, A level. I did government and politics A level, and the lack of empathy is such a big contributor to voting. And yes, I agree with you. I agree with you, Ellie. So how do we combat that? Do we combat it through more sessions, through more education? If that's the way, is there enough of it in Wales at the moment for young people? Does this now need to be addressed further now that the laws have been changed? Should we be giving better education to these young people so they know what they're doing? What do you think? What do you think? Oh, and also, I'll tell you what, moving ahead slightly, if we need to be giving better education to young people about voting, whose responsibility is that? Who should be giving them that education? Hold on. It's making people realise that their influence, I think it should be it should be wider taught. I agree with you, Elliot. I think you should. now more so than ever. I mean, I think it should have been anyway, but now more so than ever. Claire, do you think that's because the leaders aren't transparent enough, Ellie? Ooh, Claire chucking things in the mix. I like that. Yeah, so this is Gemma. Yeah, definitely, because GCSE subjects were basic. However, the A-level subjects seem better. All right, okay, so do you think they should be introduced into A-level subjects, should you? But well, if we're talking maths now, not just someone who chooses to go and do the education, if the right is there now for all 16 and 17-year-olds in Wales to vote, should that education be better offered to all young people? So when they get to, and what age should they be getting it? So when they get to 16, 17, they're more equipped with the knowledge and know how to respond. And then the next question from that there's a lot of questions, was whose responsibility is it to give them that education? Yeah, Claire. Oh, hold on. All the messages are flying through. Can't even keep up. Yeah, Claire. So many leaders of the parties get their votes through big campaigns, but actual manifestos are rarely shown. Well, you know what? And even when they are shown, they're changed. So, Sarah, not Sarah. It's me, isn't it? Sorry, Mia. Some adults know about politics, but still vote. Don't know about politics. Yeah, tell me about it. Some adults don't know about politics, but they still vote. Why is it any different for us? Absolutely. Oh, you know what, Mia? That was going to be my next point. Absolutely, yeah. So, should it be a wider issue? Should it be a UK-wide issue? We don't really push this educating about voting, do we? We just give people a pen and a paper and tell them to go to a box and put a cross on something. Usually, as Ellie says, could be affected by a number of factors prior to it. So, yeah, but my first question was, whose responsibility was it to educate young people? And should there be a responsibility to educate the wider community of the UK on the same issue? Well done, you, Mia. You're top brass, you O's, top brass. Yeah, I agree with you. It should be brought into the curriculum. Oh, okay, so brought into the curriculum. So is Charlotte, are you saying that it's the school's responsibility to teach people about politics and about voting prior to them being able to vote? I think that's what you're saying, if you wanted to go into the curriculum. I totally agree. So many decisions are based on promises and then they don't follow things through. Well, you know what? That's politics, baby. Yeah, and it just... Interesting discussion. Once again, guys, we are getting into the 43rd minute now. And we've had a heavy tea and chat session, haven't we? We've tackled global racism and global citizenship in that sense, and we've tackled the voting age being lowered to 16. I think we've earned ourselves a little fun break now, haven't we? So, right. I think we'll leave it there for this evening. If you want to, so obviously we're going to continue these Tea Tuesday sessions. We're going to continue these issue-based, conversation-led sessions. If you have a issue that you want to bring to the table, so we have looked at social media going too far. We've looked at racism and voting now. If there's something that you would really like to bring to the table, whatever that subject matter may be, please do let me know. Either put it in the comment section here, because I do read them at the end. Sorry for the comments that I miss as we're going through this, because they're coming up so fast sometimes I miss them. But if you have a topic that you think, oh, I really want to discuss this on next week's session, please do let us know and we'll put it in there. Oh yeah, absolutely, Claire. I second that. I love that you've all got your own opinions. Thanks for the input. Don't forget, youth services are here to support you. Absolutely. That's why we're here. And this is what I'm saying. If there's a topic that you want to bring to the table, you'd like me to facilitate on your behalf, if you want to discuss, LGBT or LGBTQ plus or whatever it may be, send us those messages directly and I will facilitate that on the next session. Other than that, I think coming up to 45 minutes, I bid you a good evening. Hope you have a lovely rest of your evening, and I will be back with you on Thursday, because Cheryl's with you tomorrow for Wellbeing Wednesday. Remember, don't forget. Once again, thank you ever so much for taking part, and thanks for sharing your opinions, guys. You're brilliant as usual. Diolch yn fawr iawn.